In 1901, a team of sponge divers sheltering from a storm near a tiny Greek island called Antikythera dropped down to the seabed and found a graveyard. A Roman ship, sunk 2,000 years before, scattered across the bottom. Bronze statues, marble, jewelry, coins. They hauled the treasure up, and almost as an afterthought, someone grabbed a lump of corroded bronze about the size of a shoebox. Green, crusted, shapeless. It sat in a museum drawer in Athens while everyone fussed over the statues. Then it cracked open, and inside the lump was a gear. Hand-cut, precise, with tiny triangular teeth. In a 2,000-year-old shipwreck, that alone made no sense. Geared machines weren't supposed to exist in the ancient world, but it was only the start, because behind that gear was another, and another. When researchers finally X-rayed the corroded mass decades later, they counted more than 30 interlocking bronze gears layered together with a precision that looked, frankly, modern. This was no trinket, it was a machine. We call it the Antikythera mechanism now, and it is the oldest known computer on Earth. Here is what it did. You turned a crank on the side, and the gears spun a working model of the known cosmos. It tracked the sun and the moon across the sky. It followed the moon's wobble, the way it speeds up and slows down in its orbit, something you would think no ancient person could capture in bronze. It predicted eclipses, years in advance, marking which would be solar and which lunar. It even counted down to the Olympic Games. Built into the teeth of those gears was a knowledge of the heavens so exact it would take modern science centuries to rediscover. And it was made around 2,000 years ago, while most of the world was still telling time by the sun. Now sit with the part that should genuinely unsettle you. After this thing was built, nothing of comparable complexity appears anywhere in the historical record for roughly the next 1,400 years. Not for a generation, not for a century, for 14 centuries. The next time human hands assemble gearwork this intricate, it is the great astronomical clocks of medieval Europe, and that is the 1300s. Think about that gap. Whoever built the Antikythera mechanism did not dream it up in an afternoon. A device this refined implies generations of craftsmen before them. Workshops, teachers, students, 100 failed prototypes. A whole tradition of genius standing behind it. And it vanished. All of it. The knowledge of how to build this was not improved on. It was not passed down. It was lost. So completely that when those divers pulled it from the sea, the smartest people on Earth could not even recognize what they were holding. We have a story we tell ourselves about progress, that it is a ladder, that every generation stands a little higher than the last, that knowledge only ever piles up, that we are, obviously, inevitably, the most advanced humans who have ever lived. The Antikythera mechanism is a quiet, corroded argument that the story is a lie, because progress is not a ladder. It is a candle. It can be carried forward and it can be blown out. Empires fall, libraries burn. The last person who knows how to do a thing dies without teaching anyone. And just like that, something humanity spent centuries learning is simply gone. Not improved, not replaced. Gone. We did not catch up to the Antikythera mechanism by building on it. We caught up by accident, 1,400 years later, having forgotten it ever existed. So the real question it asks is not, how did the ancients get so smart? It is the one nobody wants to sit with. If people could build something that brilliant and then lose it so completely that we forgot it was even possible, what makes you so sure it cannot happen to us? What are you standing on right now that you assume is permanent? What do we know today that one broken chain of teachers from now, no one alive will know how to do? Being smart was never the hard part. Holding on to it is.